range. Oh, my goodness. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing. And now it comes down to 1-5 for the win. Is it his time?
Hello, everybody. The Pitchmark Collective is back. We got Cameron, we got JL, the putting coach, and TL2. Huge Patriot, loves the USA. Guys, are we watching the Olympics at all? I am. We're a big Olympic family. We love the gymnastics, the swimming, and then when the track starts, we'll be heavy followers.
I mean, the women's gymnastics has been on constantly at my house with my daughter and my wife. It's pretty damn exciting, right? Like watching Simone Biles like just flip and contort herself in ways, especially on like a balance beam. Did you guys watch any of the performance last night? Like that was crazy.
Yes.
We were talking. So I'm at an event, which is funny because I'm only 20 minutes at an event from my house. So I came home, so I had better internet, etc. But we were watching and talking about this last night, the men's gymnastics. And one, like, have you either of you guys watched men's versus women's?
Watched both
in the past.
Yeah.
They're so like vastly different, right? Like women it's much more showy, dancey, like feels like it flows. And then you've got men that are just like, I'm going to do as many flips as I possibly can. And I'm just going to just raw. So it's kind of interesting. But on the team side, did you guys see is it the pommel horse? The one where it's like all arms. They had, dude, the silent assassin that they had for the US, that was hilarious. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like sitting there in the stadium and he's just passed out asleep because he literally came there to do one thing. It's the team event. It's the pommel horse. And that's all he does, period. Nothing else.
That's all he was called to do. That's why he was picked and like qualified for the Olympics, is to do exactly what he did.
Yeah. He came up. They needed him to put on the best score possible for them to get the
Stephen
medal.
Nedorosik.
Yeah. He's just sitting there with his glasses on, like just like this is your silent assassin. This is like the guy that's gonna bring home the medal for us. Huh.
It's funny. It's funny too, because like he's got like triple bifocals on them things.
Oh yeah, they're like,
so he takes them off. He's like, you probably can't see, so it's purely just like all feel on that apparatus.
And he took his glasses off and goes and inspects it, and like he's literally just touching every part of this thing, like just close to. And I mean, dude, my eyes are horrible, so him and I probably have the same freaking prescription. So I would just be blind as a bat without contacts in. But it was interesting to like watch that and hear the story about it. I mean, obviously the coverage made it a little bit of a bigger deal, I guess, but yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. I like those stories.
I feel like the men's might have been just a bigger story because they have gone so long without even medaling. Like where the women's, it's like, yeah, I mean,
it's expected.
Biles is the GOAT, all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And not only did Steven do his thing on the pommel horse, but that Frederick Richards guy is just a freak athlete, and his part on the team, he did so well. I was watching him a lot. I'm like, this guy's stuck every landing. He's flipping, he's twisting. Like you said, they're just like, I'm going to do the sickest thing I can, and hopefully I land it.
Yeah, like there was the shorter guy. I can't remember his name, but he literally ran up, both feet like planted, and then just I'm like, what the? How did you do that? And it's just like full bore.
It's funny because like I'm like dead tired after walking like 6 holes of golf, and these guys are just holding their body weight up on those rings, flipping and twisting for a minute straight, and then going in to do it on the next apparatus. Just crazy how athletic these people are, especially like gymnastics. I mean, it's different compared to the basketball, the soccer, and all that. It's just all around freak athleticism.
So like For Olympics though, like, do you guys? I don't get into the basketball side of it. Like, I don't
I mean,
love the
not the early stages, but once it gets to like the Mel rounds, then yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about bringing like LeBron James to the Olympics that I don't get as into. Like, I want to hear about the hometown person that has been out of college running track and like got to make the Olympics or something like
Then you
that
need
rather than
3v3. That's what you need to watch.
I need to
The
watch what?
3v3 is pretty cool.
You know who's on the 3v3 for the USA? Jimmer Fredette.
Wait, what is 3v3? Is that another basketball like
Or basketball, first to like 20 points or something.
ah. And
But
that's an
it's
Olympic
only-
sport.
What's
Or
the
an
time
event.
limit? Isn't it like super quick too? It's either
Maybe
like
it's like
first to 20
10
or
minutes or something.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like
Cool.
best of 3, I think, too. So it's like 3 matches, first to 2,
Huh.
something like that. But they have it for
But it-
men's and women's. I was watching the women's play Germany, and it seemed like Germany was just blocking literally every shot that the USA was putting up. It was kind of funny.
That's awesome. So
So they were. I was kind of like, I listened to something with Jimmer Fredette like 2 weeks ago, and like he was kind of explaining a little more of like the intricacies for the 3-on-3, and like pretty much it's similar to the NBA where it's by 2s and 1s, not 3s and 2s, but it's because of like the time limit. Like each possession, you only get. I think that's what it is. I think a possession's only like 15 or 20 seconds or something like that.
Yeah,
And there's like like they have like a shot clock for it. And so like Jimmer was saying, it's either when you first get the ball and like within that first pass, shoot the 3, or immediately try to drive in for a layup. And like there's really no, like you're not running set plays or anything, like you don't have time for it. So
Yeah.
it's just constant like running. And they kind of like built their team specifically for like the 3-on-3 for like Jimmer to be able to get to the hole or like just shoot a deep 3. Cause I think they have like a bonus point or something too, for like a deeper 3 or no,
Yeah, I'm
oh,
not
really?
sure.
Interesting.
maybe not. Maybe I'm just thinking of the big 3, but they,
Oh, you're thinking of slam ball.
but yeah, basically he's got it to where like it's him and then 2 guys that can defend and rebound. And like, that's the strategy.
Interesting. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. I'll look forward to that. I mean, it's just one of those things like I think of the Olympics as more of like the amateur athlete that's not, making 100 million a year type thing. So it's always interesting to when
I
you
have to
go
imagine
NBA
the
stuff into that.
the dream team back in the day, that standard they put up, like we have to keep sending the best NBA play. Like we have to.
Yeah, it kind of ruined it.
We can't like not win basketball.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
and I like some of the bigger events because it's kind of like how you would hope like an all-star game would be played, where like
Mhm.
everybody's trying. So you kind of get the best players playing as hard as possible.
It's also like a good way to see how like you'll be able to see how good Jokic actually is because he's not
Right.
playing with Jamal Murray and a bunch of other guys. He's playing with
That's
people
valid.
from Serbia or wherever. So I don't typically, I'm like Teddy, I kind of don't follow early on. Like I don't sit there and watch the basketball game, but I'll see what they did until it gets down to like semifinals and they're making that push to make it to the final game.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the Olympics, was there any golf that was played this weekend or week, I guess?
I played on Sunday, so a little context here. We went to Kenny Chesney at Empower Field on Saturday, and your boy Cam let loose. My wife was telling me I had a bunch of people come up to me as we were leaving, saying like they were like watching me all night. I was dancing. The row in front of us was just completely like empty, the half row. So I was back and forth, buying beers for people, all that stuff. So my legs were pretty toast waking up on Sunday. We teed off at like 11. And I
I'm pretty
usually
sure
play
your
this.
legs weren't the only thing that were toast.
Actually, I had a headache, but that was about it. I took some Excedrin and made it to the driving range. was hitting it pretty well. And then we got on the course. I usually score pretty well here at Red Hawk Ridge. I shot, I think it was 88. Not great. No birdies, few pars. I was hitting the ball well off the tee. It was just kind of like the irons just weren't cooperating. But my playing partner, Joe, he shot 4 under par with an eagle chance on 18 to have his personal best at Red Hawk Ridge for 5 under. Left it a little low. So I may have sucked, but I got to watch somebody make 4 under look very easy because he also had 2 bogeys.
Wow.
Three bogeys. Last time we played there, he couldn't make a birdie putt and I think he shot like 2 over. So it was cool to see him put it all together for a 4 under par. It's a lot of downhill tee shots. So there's like a 520 yard par 4, but it's way downhill. So if you hit it well, you have 200 or less in. I hit a good drive there by just top my 5 iron, then hit 8 iron on that hole. But very cool course. We played the tips from like 6,800.
And they had a par 4 that was 450?
It was 520.
Or 520? Sorry.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like way downhill. Like they have a few of them.
Yeah, but
they're
for like 6,800. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess.
So, no, it was a good time. It was hot as hell. It's, middle of summer, Denver, no cloud in the sky that day. So that was my golf experience. Not how you want to be going into a Pinehurst trip 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Well, we got to figure some things out.
You got 3 weeks. You're good to go.
You got to start grinding.
Yeah. I actually did something very
I'll
similar.
be lucky to make it to the range twice before then. So
what? Jeez Louise, man.
Actually, maybe I'll go tonight.
My buddy Joey and I, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Kim, your son's young, and Teddy, your cats don't play golf. So
not yet.
House for that matter.
He's working on that.
It's crazy how much time trying to get my daughter to and from and to practice and to these events has been. We had a scrimmage on Friday, and then what did we do on Saturday? Something happened on Saturday. Oh,
I don't think you ever really told anybody that your daughter made the team for golf.
Oh,
right?
yeah. So the scrimmage has been it's the coolest thing. Anyone who has kids out there, I 100% support PGA Junior League. PGA Junior League is one of the coolest things.
Do you tithe to them monthly, 10%?
I should, seriously. I mean, I feel like I have with the last 3 years.
Yeah.
How much we've spent with it. But my daughter started this 3 years ago, and it was her first real kind of foray into golf, especially anything competitive. But they keep it really cool because it's a 2-person scramble, right? So it's a 2-person scramble, and last year we got onto this team, which is close to us, and we didn't know it, but they do an all-star team. And so PGA Junior League is actually televised, the national event. You guys can watch it on ESPN. It's in Frisco at the PGA headquarters. Tony Finau's son was all over it last year, and so was Tony because they made it. And
who paid for that? Was it Tony or was?
Yeah. Well, and 2 years ago, the Ben team where I live, they lost in a scorecard playoff to Utah to make it to nationals. So our team's always done pretty well, and that was my daughter's. It's actually kind of cool. She has a vision board, and she did this all on her own. And for 2 years, it's been on her vision board. I want to make team 1, because we take 2 teams. And obviously every Friday's been a scrimmage. Saturday, gosh, what did we do on Saturday? I think I played golf. And Sunday I played golf with my buddy Joey, which shout out to Joey from the tips at our course. He shot a 71. So it's just under 7,200 yards, plays pretty damn long. Again, I had 37 or 38 putts and I shot an 80 even. I was like, dude, I haven't played very much.
It's so funny
golf.
how You could just—it's so evident that putting's the issue for you, Justin, because you just said you
Yeah.
shot 80 with 38 putts.
I
Like,
know.
what are we doing here, guy? It's half your strokes.
I know it.
And this is
The-
like the 8th time.
It's like every other
3
round. Like,
weeks. Yeah.
and you can tell, like, when all of a sudden I go in and I shoot like a 72 to 75, it's like, oh, he had 30 putts, which isn't even that great. But
Yeah.
I just cut off the 8 extra stupidity strokes.
Hey, chat, if we could give Justin some putting drills that he could take to the range next time, leave them in the comments.
Dude, that's the funny thing. I do
He
them.
needs it.
I just honestly, the last 2 weeks between work travel and I got sick, obviously you can hear that, and taking my daughter to places, like I've played like once or twice, and that was one of them right there. So I wasn't too pissed about it because I was like, man, I shot an 80 from the blacks, which on the rating is like 74.6. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It wasn't the best round, but it wasn't a bad round by any
Yeah.
means.
No, none of half of them have been really good rounds outside of
Outside of putting.
the putting.
And then Sunday after we got done, we were like grabbing lunch and my daughter came out. So we were actually doing a putting drill with her because I caddied for her for a US Kids event and it was like horrible. Like I've never seen her play so bad.
The U.S. Kids Championship is in Pinehurst starting tomorrow.
Yeah, we have 2 or 3 kids actually going to it from this area. But
That's
you guys
cool.
will appreciate this story. So my daughter, we play the first 2 holes, playing pretty good. We get to the 3rd hole, it's like a layup hole. It's 300 yards, but there's water on the right and weird fairway bunkers. So I'm like, hey, hit a 7-iron right there. She hits a perfect 7-iron. We're 100 yards in, and we're like a little over 100. And I'm like, just hit your wedge and don't hit a goose right there, like joking around, right? Because there's like 15 or 20 goose like on the course in the fairway. She blades the shit out of one and it goes straight at a goose and it nails the only goose standing up with its legs down and just takes out its leg. And all of a sudden noises are coming out and the goose is standing on one leg. And I'm like, oh shit, she just killed a goose. And she is about to she loves animals. She's like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I just killed a goose. And we're like, please move. Please move. And it like all of a sudden, like 10 seconds later, puts its foot down and then just starts like
Toppling
limping
away.
and goes into the water. I'm like,
Did
oh,
you
this
take
is
care of the problem
Now,
gonna be horrible. Oh
for the
no.
listeners,
in
investigation
front of all the kids?
cleared the layers of any wrongdoing. Deemed it was an accident.
Oh
They
my
will
gosh.
not-
It
They will not be charged with animal cruelty.
was brutal. I felt so bad for her. That was the beginning of the end for that round. But came out with a good story. And so Sunday, the PGA Junior League coach calls us, and I had told Teddy this story where he was like, hey, by the way, tomorrow you guys have to have a playoff for one spot, and there's 4 kids. And I'm like, 24-hour notice. Shit, man. I am glad I'm not traveling. Like, I'm at an event technically, but it was only 20 miles
Where you
away.
could
So it was
stay at
like,
home still. Yeah. Yeah.
I was actually staying out there because the breakfasts were at like 7 a.m. and stuff like that. But I just jumped in the car after one of the sessions and rallied out there. And it was really cool. I mean, this is the first time we've gotten to this point with my daughter where she's really wanted something and came really close. So they did like a Stableford point scoring event, and it came down to on the last 17 and 18, the last 2 holes, she could have won if she would have made one of the putts. And apparently she sucks at putting just like I do because she missed both of them and missed the points
It's in the DNA, baby.
0.5. So 0.5, she missed it, and it was a pretty emotional ride home. She didn't talk to my wife the entire ride home. I was in a different car, so picked her up because they went to go get a cookie, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" She's like, "She hasn't said anything for 20 minutes." I'm like, "Oh, that's super fun."
Maybe
Yeah.
next time you have a ride with the golfer in the family after a loss like that.
Dude, I wasn't telling her anything. She jumped in the car, and I was like, "We are letting you guys roll," because
Yeah.
that's tough. I mean, later that night, we were kind of talking, and I mean, one, she shot her personal best. So breaking 90 for the first time was a huge deal for her. So super proud of her for that. And later that she was like, you know what? I just need to play really good in the qualifier, and then I can take my spot back. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Resiliency, baby. You love to
Yeah.
see it.
Like the grind and determination was really fun to watch. Like I never thought I would like really enjoy watching the 4 kids play golf like they did, but watching them go back and forth with points and it being just within 2 points the
Mhm.
entire 18 holes, it was like, this is awesome. Like everyone wants this and they're all fighting for it.
Did they have any idea on the scoring, or did you all, like, as
Yeah.
it was going on?
Yeah, the coach and then one of the other girls, the dad and I are friends, and he was keeping track of the points, and like so everyone kind of knew what was going on. My daughter asked that I didn't like give her any specifics.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, if
Yeah.
like the coach was telling them like after every couple of holes, or if they were keeping track.
He said something at the turn, so she made a birdie on hole 9, and so that was 4 points, and that brought it back so that now she was tied with
Mm.
everyone, and they were all tied going into hole 10. So she knew when made the turn that she was tied, and then I think on like 15, one of the other younger kids actually said it as well, like, "Hey, this is the points of where this," and she was like, "Dude, why did you say anything to me?" It didn't affect how she played because she still played better, but yeah, it's kind of fun to watch it. I mean, it's not gonna be the first or the last time she misses the putt to
Right.
miss something or lose a tournament. Like we all know that golf is just like
Or contemplate quitting the sport
Yeah.
entirely.
you lose
She'll
more than you
have
win
that.
in golf. So
It's I think the best part about it is like your daughter literally is just addicted to golf already. It's like this is like
yeah.
competitive. She's playing, and I think the second coolest thing is like this is how I get back to where I want to be. So let's go do that. We just took this loss and we just gotta go work at it some more. So that's really cool. That she's got bitten by the bug there on that. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens for the next few years. I mean, it'll be fun.
Is she 13?
Yeah. So she's
13?
going into 8th grade. But I mean, dude, I was looking at some of the women's scores for like the state championship. The state champion for Oregon in 5A, she shot like 70, 75.
Mhm.
And then once you get to like top 10, like 7, 8, 9, 10, it's like 85, 85. So it's like, man, going into 8th grade, she could be shooting some of the very similar scores. So like,
I mean,
that's
high school golf's right down the road for her, right? Does the high school where you guys plan on sending her going to have a women's team?
Yeah,
Girls' team?
the girls team, the boys team has won the state championship 5 years in a row, and they actually like got 3rd in the high school nationals out in
Mhm.
Pinehurst. And then the girls team has been really, really successful too. So
I mean, that's probably where some of the biggest jumps are going to happen is that freshman, sophomore year, right?
totally, it's
Getting
gonna
locked in.
be cool. So, but we'll
Teddy.
see what happens Monday and Tuesday.
Teddy, did you play golf since the last time we have convened?
Yeah, I played Sunday.
Ooh, he played. Should we guess? What did you play? 18?
I did. I don't know what I shot.
What?
I did have 5 birdies though. I know that.
Ooh,
that was really
birdie
all
machine. Let's go.
I heard about. I had 3 in a row at one point. That was nice.
There's nothing quite like following up, especially from my standpoint, making a birdie and then making another one. Like, even if it's just back to back, it's like that's incredible.
Yeah.
How many-
Well, that's the hard part though, is because I always am gonna have a big number in my round, and so like, I think I had already had it before. I had it within the first like 4 or 5 holes.
So you made your 6 or your 7 or whatever already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I like started it, like I think I had 1 birdie and then had a couple pars, and then I had another birdie, and then I had one the next hole, and then I had one on the next hole, and the hole following that is like this kind of short and weird par 4. It's got like a force, like you can't hit it further than like 250,
Mhm.
but it's all downhill after like 200 yards. So you kind of have to like be careful with like what you actually hit. And then the second shot is at minimum, it's going to be like 130, 140 yards to like an elevated green that's sloping like down to like a little ravine. And so like that's a tough hole to then follow up like those previous 3 birdies. I hit like a good tee shot, and then I hit it to like, I don't know, 5 feet. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to have 4 in a row. Like if I just get past this hole, like I'm good. And then I didn't even come close on the putt. So I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah,
Where'd you
I
play?
don't really know.
Where'd you play?
This place called Hyde Park. It's like a, I don't know.
It gets
this
it
old
gets
course
talked
on the
about a
west
lot between the Jacksonville.
Yeah,
the
it's a
Jacksonville area.
fun, like it's a good layout. And they've been putting some work into it over the last like 2 years. Not very long.
Did you play with any listeners?
I did. To our listeners, and then one of the listeners' boss.
I'm trying to figure out who it is. Is it Tom Hyde?
He is one of them. Yeah,
Yeah, good old Tom Hyde.
him and his boss. His boss has one leg, and nobody said anything until I got
So
there.
you're just
I
like,
find that-
surprise! This guy has one leg.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, all right.
I played golf with a guy with one arm on 4th of July. Did I tell you guys that?
No.
No.
It wasn't his lead arm too, which is I gotta imagine the one you want.
Mm.
It was the back arm.
Oh,
It was the
interesting.
worst thing in the world, dude. It was terrible. I felt so bad. I'm like, bro, you got to move
Oh.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
Props to you for coming out here for the last 20 years playing because he hasn't had an arm for 20 plus years. He said.
Actually, on that same note, like it being brutal, on Monday there was a guy that wanted to play through the kids, and he walks up, and he's got a full-on like hard neck brace on, and I'm like, how in the hell are you swinging a golf club? Like, and it was obvious, super short, just threw it and just hit it 100 yards and
Hey.
went on.
For the
Did
love
call
of the
him out for
game,
having
baby.
an illegal training aid.
Damn, that is just brutal.
Is that PGA conforming there, pal?
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So how many birdies have you, like, what's the most you've ever had in a row, Teddy?
I don't know the number, but I do recall playing in a tournament and shooting like 76 with 2 pars. But yeah. So, but I don't
He
know.
just went bogey, birdie, par, bogey, birdie, bogey, bogey, birdie, birdie, par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
awful.
But
Give it right back.
you don't remember how many birdies you've ever had in a row?
No.
Like, is it 3 or 4?
Oh, in a row, probably maybe 4 at the most.
Okay.
4 with like a good look at 5. Kind of like this last story where you had 3 with a good look at 4, but you just hit a bad putt. Or like 4 and then you go OB off the tee.
More realistically, probably 4 and then OB.
Okay.
Or like get off the tee pretty well and then just like chunk
Hosel.
one like
Yeah.
20 yards or something. Yeah.
Present
Something-
the hosel, as
something's
Mr.
gonna
Woods
happen.
would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cam, how many have you had?
I've had 3 in a row.
You have?
That was last year. Yeah.
Okay.
How did you
Just the
follow
one-
that up?
Just the one time. Well, I had a look. So I went 3 in a row, and I went up and one of the sickest up and downs I've ever had, mind you, on a par 4, over kind of like a little creek. Had to flop it up, put it to like 5 feet, made the putt for par.
Huge.
And then 18, I had a look for birdie again. So I was going to be 4 under through the last 5 holes.
6
And
holes.
I just missed the putt, made par, shot 79. It was like one of the few times I broke 80. So
Nice. I've gone back to back quite a few times, but I've never
Mhm.
actually gotten 3. I've
Yeah.
also done the sweet, I got a birdie, let's go make a bogey, which is like the best way to follow it up ever.
that's typically what happens.
Yeah. I mean,
If not double.
two
Right.
years ago, I was playing with a buddy, Derek, and he went 6 in a row for birdies.
Hmm.
It was crazy. Like, there was probably 3 of those birdies where they were like 20-foot putts that went in. I'm just like watching this, like, holy shit, that's gonna go in too.
Yeah.
No freaking way. Like, the most surprising thing ever. Like, it was insane. So, I mean, I think he ended that streak by doubling the 7th hole after that. So it was just like, oh shit, that sucks.
Did he
But
end up shooting under par Please tell me. Yes.
I honestly I can't even remember the final score because I was just amazed that it was 6 in a row. Like
Yeah,
that was the
that's
craziest thing to me.
that's a lot.
6 in a row. So and it at our home course it's a little bit easier to get that started because it's 2 par fives, a par
Mm.
3, a shorter par 4, a par 5, a short par 4, and then a drivable par 4.
Mm-hmm.
So like in that stretch you could get something going. Not
If
me.
you're hitting it well and making putts.
No, I
and-
think it's the putting thing. If you're putting
Yeah.
well, which I've never done in my life, so I'm gonna just throw myself out there and I'm gonna be a putting coach for people.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the putting coach for the
Yeah.
Pitchmark Collective.
Yeah.
Going back to our round on Sunday, it's funny because Joe, avid listener, shout out to Joe. He just rips bongs and bowls on the golf course, and like he made he was 2 under through 3, and I didn't say anything to him, but like after hole 6, he didn't take one hit. I'm like, okay, he's locked in. Like he's not trying to mess this up.
Yeah.
No, he birdied the first 2, made bogey on 3, and then birdied 4.
That's always tough too. If you birdie the first, I think that's like the biggest indication, typically, at least for me, that it's not going to be a fun time.
Well, you're like trying to hold it together, right? You're like, okay, I've made this great start, like one swing, and then it's just gone.
Well, I think it's just because like the first like couple times when that happens, because that usually happens early on, like when you start to get good,
Mm-hmm.
and you could just like, oh, I just walked on the first tee and birdied the first hole, and then those first few times like you never hold it because like you're not used to that feeling.
Yeah.
And then after that, you just kind of expect to just everything to just fall apart immediately once you birdie that first. Or you're constantly just thinking like, okay, when am I gonna hit this one OB?
Yeah,
And
but
then you
some of
just-
the best rounds that you score were like a double on the first hole, and you're like,
right,
it's gonna go
that's
on
way
play.
easier.
Because
Yeah.
you don't care, and you're like,
Yeah.
I already made double. Like, what's the worst that could happen at this point?
Right.
Yeah. It's fun.
The score doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna play freely, and then you end up getting it back.
Yeah, Joe went back to back twice, and then kind of just spread the other 2 birdies out, mixed in with a couple bogeys. It was great
round.
watching it. Yeah, no, it was great watching it. And like I said, he had maybe 8 feet on 18. It's a par 5 for eagle. So it's like you're obviously going to make birdie here. Like let's just make this putt and make your round 5 under. But no, it was a cool round to watch. One of the best ones I've seen in person. So
very exciting.
Nice.
And that prepped you to watch Wyndham Clark shoot 82 or the next.
Well, let's I mean, we had the 3M last week. I mean, I don't think a lot of us had a ton of time to watch it. I watched, some on Thursday. I watched a little bit every day, but I didn't get to a lot on Sunday except for like some of the highlights. Obviously, I was rooting for Tony the entire time. I thought after maybe like day 2, he'd turn it on, and he just, I mean, I'm not going to say he was flat because he was, 11 under, but he went 67, 69, 70, 67, which great four rounds put together for him to finish. I mean, I got the point for that, which is kind of cool. But man, we weren't even close. He was tied for 12th. Like our picks didn't even get top 5, which is, mildly disappointing. It was interesting to see.
My pick didn't even make the cut. So
yeah.
Both picks?
No, Robert Streb also, I think. No, he made the cut. I think on the number. That was my DFL.
Robert Streb ended up 5 under, tied for 46th.
Yeah.
Akshay was tied for 64th. My DFL was Martin Trainer, who was cut at 1 under. He shot. I mean, I was actually sweating.
I mean, he was like 6 under too on Thursday.
The first day, I was like, "Oh crap!" He decided to play golf this week. This is another one where he's going to finish better. And lo and behold, he shows up the next day and shoots a 76. We had
he remembered who he was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm his putting coach, so we figured that out real quick.
Smart.
JT Poston finished at +2, and then you got Eric Barnes, who was between all of our picks, he was DFL for that.
He was actually like
Like,
almost DFL.
Yeah, he was 5 over for the entire thing, which put him at Eric Barnes was shit. There's probably only 15 players in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jake Knapp withdrew, Noy withdrew, and then you got Tyson Alexander who shot 82.75.
Yeah, him and Tosti. Gators did not look good this past weekend.
Yeah, Tosti's hit or miss, man. That guy shows up to a tournament and he's like in the mix.
Are we pronouncing that name correctly? Is it Tosti?
Toasty?
Is
I
it
thought it was
Toasty?
Toasty.
Okay. Yeah,
Alejandro
maybe
Toasty.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was one guy that I was so in the Open, Tristan Lawrence played so well, right? Like we watched him on Sunday.
I think
just
it's
hold his
Tristan.
phone.
I think it's just a weird
Tristan.
way of spelling Tristan. Yeah.
Okay. So he played so well on the last day of the
Mhm.
Open and then comes out here and just goes 75, 74 and misses the cut, which is brutal.
guy-
But
This guy
thought we
suck
were-
at golf.
I thought we were going to see something cool out of him.
Losers.
They've
No, I mean, the
probably
three-
made a few more birdies in a row.
This has got to be the worst time for the PGA Tour, right? Because we're done with majors. It's an Olympic year. I doubt I doubt the 4 guys from America are probably playing the 3M Open. Maybe Wyndham because he sucks. He shouldn't even be on the Olympic team. We'll get to that in a second. But it's just like we're in a lull when it comes to professional golf on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like to say, to live. Jon Rahm got his first win. That's exciting because everybody thought he just hated his life on Live Tour. It's funny because he was like second, overall, and just hadn't won. So now is he first overall? Like, he's got to be close.
Yep.
On the Live Tour.
I actually watched probably more of the Live because it was on TV when I was just watching something, and I thought it was a little bit more interesting than the PGA Tour because, like, like, call me old, I guess, but there's a lot of players on Live that I still really want to see play well. So it was kind of interesting to watch that and watch more of that than I actually watched of PGA Tour for once.
I would say if I'm watching Live, like I want to watch Rahm, Koepka, Bryson, Cam Smith, and then I'm also intrigued by Anthony Kim to see how he progresses, which I saw something on Twitter, like he's actually making strides forward in a shots gained perspective, and he's not finishing dead last. He's beating people on Live Tour who were professional golfers when they went to Live. Anthony Kim just got off the couch off a 12-year drug binge. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see like how he keeps progressing if he's going to be around for a while on Live. I don't know. I mean,
he's got to get picked up, right? Like that's what has to happen because
can you only be a wild card for 1 year?
I don't know. Do we know?
Does Live even know? Or are they just flying by?
I think they're figuring it out.
Yeah, just building the plane on the way down, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to find the actual results for the United Kingdom to see where he actually finished. The website is actually kind of hard to.
It's awful.
It's really
the app's way
really
better.
Kind of weird. So Jon Rahm first, Joaquin second, and then we had Cam Smith at picking up third place. But I mean, you had a lot of cool people below that. You got Hatton, Paul Casey.
Well, even those top 3, like that's a good mix. That's 3 of your top 5 players. I mean, that's what you want, right?
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, you got Rahm and Cam Smith, recent major winners, the Open and then the Masters, right? Jon Rahm's got the U.S. Open as well. Joaquin, everybody claimed he was an up-and-comer, right? Moved to Live, and he won 2 tournaments, and then he was the best golfer in the world, and then he fell off again, and now he's second again. I think Tyrrell Hatton, too, has a big following in golf just because of his personality, right?
Yeah.
So that's like the leaderboard you probably want, partially, when you're putting this product out here, and it's not Dickie Bland, winning.
Yeah. So Anthony Kim actually, I mean, he played all right. I mean, 5 over the first round, which obviously isn't good, but then went 2 under and even for I mean, 3 over, so he's tied for 46 with Lee Westwood and Brendan Steele.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, he
it-
beat Martin Keimer, Danny Lee, Brandon Grace, Pat Perez, Hudson Swafford, and Wade Ormsby, and Mark Leishman withdrew because he had his appendix taken out. Did you guys hear that?
No.
What?
He played
Leishman?
round 1, and then he announced via like Twitter, Mark Leishman, that he withdrew because he had like appendicitis or whatever it's called, where you have to get it removed.
Damn, that sucks. I mean, to be honest though, like Martin Keimer, Brendan Steele. I mean, Brendan Steele has finished all right, but Pat Perez, Swafford, all these guys have been the bottom. There
Yeah.
hasn't been any movement in like who's actually playing good and who's playing bad. Like it feels like the top is always the top and the bottom's always the bottom with Liv.
Mm-hmm.
But it does look like they do go to it. Was this the course that you thought was really cool, Teddy? The Greenbrier? Old White at the Greenbrier? Was it maybe it was Tyler that brought it up and he was like,
Yes.
yeah. So they go Liv goes to the Greenbrier Old White on August 16th through the 18th. So that could be kind of a cool test to see what happens with that course.
I mean, they're gaining traction.
Wait, was that last year when Bryson shot a 58? Was that at the Old White?
Trying to find it. It looks like Koepka Smash GC grabbed the team lead last year. Yeah, I can't find it on the app. Last year's event.
I mean, the
Surprise.
picture that they have it on the website, it shows Bryson. It says Live Golf Greenbrier, and it shows him for the 58. So
Yeah.
Probably listen.
Context clues.
yeah. So I mean that could be fun to watch in what, another 2 weeks until you get to be a live event, and then the PGA Tour goes Olympics, which we'll talk about here in a second, and then the Wyndham Championship, and then we go into the FedEx Championship. So, which that kind of blows. You've got the FedEx, and how do you guys feel about this? FedEx Championship, August 15th through the 18th. Like, I think Live is just a bunch of idiots for not having like a live event this week or
The FedEx Championship. You mean is it the St. Jude? Is that what you're talking about?
St. Jude.
Okay, not the Tour. Okay.
No. Yeah,
You're
not the
confused
Tour
with it.
Championship.
I was gonna say, why is
FedEx
it so
St.
early
Jude.
this year?
Yeah, FedEx St. Jude. Sorry, but
Yeah.
I mean that's a signature event, right? So I mean, why?
No,
would
we're
the
done
Liv-
with signature events.
Oh, it's just the purse crazy for the St. Jude then? Because it's a 20
is,
million
yeah.
purse.
I
Yeah,
thought we were done.
which I thought
Well,
was
it's because it's isn't it first playoff?
probably.
Or is BMW the first playoff?
No, you're right. BMW is the first playoff.
Which is the next week. Look at us,
Yeah.
guys. We're killing it.
Yeah, we did a lot of
Killing
research,
it.
so
To be fair, this topic wasn't on our Google sheet. So.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
that is fair. Well, so getting back on topic a little bit at 42 minutes. We've got the Olympics this week. Like, are you guys? I mean, we've watched gymnastics. We're gonna watch some track. Probably gonna watch some of that 3-on-3 basketball now. I plan on trying to watch the golf tomorrow. Are you guys looking forward to the Olympic golf event?
I like the course.
Time out. The FedEx St. Jude is the first event. Playoff event.
Oh, it is.
Which is why it's $20 million. Top 70 players in the FedEx Cup standings qualify for the first FedEx Cup playoffs event, the St. Jude Championship, August 12th through the 18th.
Oh,
Confirmed. Live
What is your?
confirmed
Can you
reporting.
name your source? Can you name your source?
I Googled it and then I already exited out of the website that showed it. So
Website. What was the website?
you're gonna make me go through the history, huh? Here we go.
Well, not all of the history.
not
just the
all.
last.
Do not
it was
say
the
that
P-
out loud.
It was the PGA Tour website.
Okay. All right.
Interesting. I thought the BMW was the first stop of the playoffs.
No, so it's 70 at the FedEx and then 50 at BMW, then 30 at the Tour Championship.
Okay. Cool. So Olympics.
Olympic golf. I like that it's a sport in the Olympics. It makes sense. It's one of probably the most, worldwide sports played by amateurs, especially. people who are interested in sports at any level. It's going to be hard to watch because I think they tee off at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So literally, what, 8 hours, 7 hours from now?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 a.m. for me.
And I have a hard time when I can just go to ESPN app and just see to be committed to watching it, especially maybe the Olympics. It feels like the Masters or the Open, then I'll work around it, of course, if I had to,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Do you guys think like the stroke play is like the right format, or change it maybe?
I think it makes sense, right? It's the easiest way to find who's going to be the best golfer of that week, right? The Olympics. But I think a team event would be great, but how do you I mean, the US is sending 4 people, Ireland's only sending 2. They're high level golfers, right? Lowry and McIlroy. But how do you make a team event if, certain countries are only sending a certain amount
Well,
of
you'd
people?
have to require them to send 4 and do
You think it's
like
4
I
or
would
just
just do
cut back
2.
to 2?
Yeah, I think it would be way more exciting if it was just 2.
So it'd be
And then they
Scotty and Xander, right? For the
Yeah.
US, Rory and Shane Lowry. I could get behind that.
Well,
And just
what
do
would it be like?
two-man
I mean,
formats or whatever the whole week.
2-man formats. You could do the 4 days and you could do a scramble, best ball, alternate shot, and then maybe just a stroke play, or maybe you do like a match play sort of
Match
format
play for the first 2 days or something for like a
for the
pool
last
kind of
like
thing.
6 teams, right? And you
Yeah.
do 1 versus 2 to determine gold and silver, and all that stuff.
yeah, but we do. I mean, we get a little piece of that with the Zurich, and do any of us actually enjoy watching the Zurich? I mean, we had that conversation right around the Zurich. I mean, it was
Well, I
only
feel like this is
More
a little
people need to
different.
play. More people need to play in the Zurich. Like
that's very valid because I'm sure
nobody's surprised that Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy won the Zurich Classic with the
It's
field
also
that
the
was on.
Olympics. It's not the Zurich Classic,
Yeah.
hosted
Valid.
in New Orleans.
Yeah. So
I think the golfers who are playing in the Olympics are like, yeah, this would be huge if I win this.
Yeah,
It's on my
everybody's.
mantle.
It's the same thing for like basketball. Like
Mhm.
it is kind of tough to. You would think it would be tough for them to motivate themselves, but it's the Olympics, and I feel like turning it into like a team format would also help them kind of turn it up, because I feel like it's not going to be that much different. Where once you tee it up, and after that front 9 on Thursday, like you don't have it. It's like, well, I'm definitely not going to place first, second, or third. Like, does it really matter?
Try and get back here in 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And
So I think it would kind of add to that pressure.
What if they did? Each country has 2 2-man teams.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
In this case, if it's the 4 they're sending, Scotty, Xander, Colin, and Wyndham, you'd probably put is Scotty's number 1 still. So put him with.
I'm loading up a team. If I have 2 teams, I'm putting the 2 best on one team. Okay.
So Scotty and Xander, and then Colin and Wyndham.
I'm going for gold. I'm not just going for gold, possibly, but silver and bronze.
Yeah. Let's put it out there. Wyndham Clark shouldn't be representing the U.S. He's a good
I think
golfer
we're all
in his right. But
here's the
Bryson.
bet.
There's Brooks. He hasn't done anything this year.
Does Wyndham actually make the cut? That's the big question.
No.
Cam, does he make the cut?
I mean, I'll go with no. What is the cut? How many people are in the tournament?
Like 60.
So it's a pretty small field. He's definitely better than like all these names from these countries that they're sending, right?
Is this an elevated event?
Is there a cut? Considered? Are we sure there's a cut? What's the purse here? Just the medal?
It is.
But you can smelt that and then sell it.
Yeah, sell it. Yeah, pawn it.
It is kind of interesting though, because it goes through like world ranking. 1st through 7 is there. Then it jumps to 10, which John Rahm is actually playing. Which I mean, everyone's kind of complained about Liv not being able to qualify for it, but he's made it. then you jump 14, Tommy Fleetwood, then it skips all 14 to 20.
Both Spain people are from Live. It's David Puig and John Rahm.
Yeah.
Are you saying that name right?
I was
Yes.
not going to even go that direction.
Let's just remember in 2016, Matt Kuchar won the bronze
Yeah.
medal.
Yeah. That's
Xander won
valid.
gold in 2020. And Justin Rose won gold in 2016.
Well, Abraham Answer actually made it for Spain too. So
He's trash.
yeah, there's a bunch of there's actually a pretty good amount of Live players here. That's
Mhm.
interesting. But they got it all. I mean, the only reason Abraham Answer is going is because there's like 2 Spain players, period. So interesting.
John Rahm might even win this thing. He could be the gold medalist.
He could
Coming
go on
off
a
a
hot
win at
streak for
Live,
sure.
he's obviously in peak form. He hasn't done well at the majors, to his standards, right? This year.
Oh my gosh,
Coming
I'm
off-
gonna get ripped up. That wasn't Spain. That was Mexico.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna say it, but I knew you were wrong. So
I was like, damn
Yeah,
it,
but
he's not on the same
all
team.
like most of these guys, I mean, I'm sure they liked the course from playing in the Ryder Cup if they were on the team in 2018. Yeah, so I think
Yeah, so I mean
Rahm can play pretty well there.
the course is interesting because it was a Ryder Cup course. It's 7,100 yards. It's a par 71. Like I actually went through some of the information that they were talking about, like on the actual course. Apparently, for 2 years straight, they brought in 30 dump trucks of dirt every day to get the rolling hills effect and the elevation change.
It's a cool course.
Like that's insane how much work it took to actually get the course to where it's at.
Like it's got some cool amphitheater. Like it really was a fun Ryder Cup course. I thought.
for the Ryder Cup, yeah, it's a good event hosting. Like course.
Yeah.
I mean, people you gotta watch out for too. Sneaky, like Hideki could come in medal, right?
Totally.
He's been in some high pressure situations. I kind of like. I want to see how Ludwig plays for Sweden.
I think he's actually going to be a sneaky one in this. I think it sets up to him really well.
Canada's got a couple good golfers in Nick Taylor and Corey Connors. I mean, it's a decent field. Teddy's playing around with the comment section here.
No, I'm not.
That was me. I accidentally.
That was Justin.
Sorry.
So it's a good field. I mean, Jason Day, Minwoo Lee from Australia.
So are we for this week? Are we going to pick winner and we'll just go winner and that's it? And if you get a winner, you get extra point, and if you get the actual winner, you get 3 points.
Should we make it interesting? We have to pick somebody not USA.
Ooh, okay. But what if we do winner and DFL there, and then we won't worry about the cut because we haven't confirmed there's an actual cut. And it's only 60 players, so let's just do first and dead last.
So and for the winner, or for both, no U.S. players.
No U.S. players. Well, I mean,
no. I'm asking. Do you want to do that? Teddy looked like he was down.
Yeah, I'm fine with no U.S. players for the winner. I really want to pick Wyndham Clark as my DFL though.
We'll allow it. We'll allow that. Cool. So who the points from the 3M? We all got one. So I had the cut. You had winner with Tony, closest to winning, and then Teddy picked Eric Barnes. So that's got Teddy at 19, me at 17, and you still bring up the rear at 12.
Yep.
Do we just want to go top to bottom? Teddy, me, you.
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. So let's do winner and then DFL. Teddy.
Yep.
So do winner first.
Okay. So for winner, I'm gonna go. Did they spell Corey Connors' name wrong?
It's got SC on the end of it is what I'm looking at. Do you see that?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna between two. I'm gonna go Fitzpatrick. Give me Fitzpatrick.
I like that for
Ooh.
the winner. Not bad. Let me see.
Go ahead and do last, or are you picking?
No, I'll pick, and then you can pick last. Or then Justin will pick winner. For my winner, I think for my winner, I'm going to go with Hideki.
Yeah, it's good. Justin?
Mine's easy. I'm going Ludwig.
I wanted to pick Rom, but I felt like that was going to be like picking, Scotty at this point. So I was like, I'm not going to pick Rom.
I wanted to pick Rory, but every time I picked Rory, he's just completely blown up. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can't do that. All right, Teddy. So who's your last place pick?
I'm gonna go Camilo Villegas.
How's he in?
Yeah,
There
he
he
is.
Him and Nico Echeverria from Colombia.
That's just crazy. He just stays around. He's had such a
does.
long career.
He might win bronze.
Well, you're helping him now.
Yeah.
So
You know what I really
I need
like
you to DM him some putting drills or something.
yeah, seriously.
is that CT Pan from Chinese Taipei. Does CT stand for Chinese Taipei? So his name's Chinese Taipei Pan.
Oh gosh. All right, Cam, who's your DFL?
My DFL, we're going to go with Kiradek Apibarnrat from Thailand.
That's a horrible pick. Just saying.
Just because you don't know how to spell that name? Is that what you're
No,
so mad about?
Barnrat?
He's got the what do they call his little it went viral. His little
The
chip
Thai
shot.
spinner.
Thai spinner, yeah, that's right. I do that all the time on accident from 180 yards out with my 7-iron. On the second par 3 on a round on Sunday, I thinned a 7-iron and ended up I was 7 feet away. Joe's like, great shot. I'm like, that wasn't planned. I was trying to
That was not
that part of the
what I
green.
wanted to do.
It just worked out really well.
I am taking. I don't even know how to say the name.
Oh, Jesus.
Pulkkinen?
You guys are killing me. Who?
I mean, I'm taking
Tapio Pulkkanen from Finland.
Yeah. Yep. Just pulling that one out. I'm gonna go to the very bottom of the world ranking, number 427. You're gonna stay there, buddy, and I appreciate you.
Congrats on the gold, Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Somehow he just pulled ahead of Scotty. All right.
I'm curious to see how Mr. Hovland plays here at the Olympics. Does he figure some stuff out and show well, or does he just fall apart and not make the cut if there's a cut?
I think he plays well. He played well there for the Ryder Cup.
He was there at the Ryder Cup, so he knows the course.
Knows the course. I think it's an event that, like, they're probably not putting a lot of pressure on themselves. Obviously, they want to win, and they're going to try to win, but it's not like, I think it's pretty easy to like settle into yourself and just try to play good golf and like put on a good showing instead of like competing to try to win a major championship.
They're going out in threes too, so I think pace and like kind of keeping that rhythm, I think should be there for all the guys, right? I don't know what the crowds are going to be like.
I don't think it'll be too crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many other things going on.
Yep.
But
I mean, I don't know. I kind of disagree with it because I think the Olympics are a bigger deal. I mean, I've read some Twitter stuff and I was looking at a few things where it's like the Olympics only come up once every 4 years, right? And you get a gold medal. Like, and you also get more notoriety out of a gold medal than winning the Masters or the PGA Championship outside of this small golf bubble, right?
I'll concede the PGA Championship to you, but maybe not the Masters.
No, but hear me. It's the golf bubble. Like all of us are like, Masters. That's the start of the season, like majors, like we all have this fascination with the Augusta and everything. So yeah, that's probably a bad one. But for people outside of the golf bubble, I think a gold medal is a bigger deal, and they actually they become a little bit more popular because of the gold medal in the Olympics.
Depends on the person, probably.
Yeah, let us know what you think down in there in the comments there, chat. Is Justin wrong again, or is he right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get
No,
ripped
I can-
apart by like the same 5 people.
At Tim Hunt, let us know.
Yeah, the one dude from Kentucky is gonna tell me he hates me again. That guy
I can see
loves me.
I can see the argument though.
I get what you're saying, but I think people who are going to watch the golfing portion of the Olympics,
Yeah,
they kind of like know the weight the Masters jacket holds to these guys and the Open champion, the Claret Jug, all that. I think it's probably close. Don't get me wrong, but the players definitely want to win a medal. Like I think at this point they're like, if I could just get a medal, I'm an
Yeah.
Olympian. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I just think it's a bigger deal than we're giving it. Like, I think they're
Maybe.
there to compete. I don't think Scotty Scheffler shows up and goes like, "Man, this is kind of fun. I'm gonna hang out with Mayor." Like, I think he's there.
It's a bigger deal than the 3M for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna go through his
Slightly.
tournament prep. He's gonna take it serious. You know what I mean? Like, he's there to win.
hmm I hope the fairways and everything is lined with people. That'd be awesome, you know, because it's just another, you know, it's more proof that golf is just one of the biggest worldwide sports, right?
Totally.
But I mean, that's kind of now what I'm excited to see is how many people are there on Sunday following this final group or whatever, you know?
For sure.
I apologize if you can hear my son going crazy in the hallway.
Well, that's probably good. I mean, I've got to wrap it up. I got to leave.
Yep.
So I got to run back out to my event. So it's closing dinners tonight. But
And are you staying in your hotel that's 20 minutes away from your home?
yeah, tonight we are. So, I mean, we are because my wife and daughter are actually going with me to the dinner, and like my daughter's bringing her club so that she can practice in the morning because the lodge is right next to one of the courses with the practice facility.
Mhm.
So
Solid.
yeah, it's gonna be fun to like actually stay out there as a family instead of just me staying out there and then coming back home for different things, which has been super odd. Like I feel like I've been busier being home than actually traveling somewhere else and just focusing totally on that. So, but
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap it up, listeners. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like, subscribe, comment on everything. Pitchmark Collective, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. This is Cameron TL2, Justin Lair, USA.